Good morning, I'm John Rinang from section High 2G, and I'm here to solve problem number 2. So, in problem number 2, it says a solid consists of a cone, a cylinder, and a hemisphere. The base radius is 4 cm. The ratio of the volume of the cone, cylinder, and hemisphere is 6:27:4. So we have to find the height of the cone, the height of the cylinder, the volume of the solid, and the surface area of the solid. Now, to find the height of the cone and the cylinder, we have to find their volumes first. So, first we're going to find the volume of the hemisphere. So, we all know that the base radius is 4. So, 4 cubed is 64. 4 cubed is 64. And so if it's 64 times 2 divided by 3 is 42.67 pi. So 42.67 pi divided by 4 is 10.6. $6,675. So now that we know that, we can times this by 6 times 6, which is 64. Times it by 6, it's 64. So that is the volume of the cone. Yes. So the cone's volume, volume of cylinder, and the volume of the hemisphere. So hemisphere. So now that we know the volume of the cone, which is 64, we're going to use the formula of the cone. We're going to use the formula of the cone to find the height. So it's 1/3 pi r square times height. So we all know that the volume is 64. So that is 64 times 3 is 192. So, and then the r square is, we all know, which is 4 times 4. R square is 4 times 4 is 16. So 16, and then height. So 192 divided by 16 is 12. So the height of the cone is 12. So let's write that down. Height of the cone is 12. There, that's the answer for A, 12. Now, to find the height of the cylinder, we have to go back to this. So 42.67 divided by 4 again is what's like the ratio. So times this by 27 is 288.2. 288. So 288.2. So that is the volume of the cylinder. So now we have to use the volume of the formula of the volume of the cylinder to find the height of the cylinder. So formula is pi r squared times height. Yeah, pi r squared times height, and then the volume is 288.02. So r square, we all know that is 16 again, and then pi, just pi, so let's just cancel that out, and height 288.02, divide this by 16, is okay. 18. 18. 18 is the height. So now we found that 18 is the height of the cylinder. Yeah, so let's just write that down. Now we found the height of the cone and the height of the cylinder, which we will need for later to find the surface area of the whole solid. Now, to find the volume of the solid, all we have to do is to add the cone, the volume of the cone, the volume of the cylinder, and the volume of the hemisphere. So that's 64 plus 288 plus 42.67. So the total volume of the whole thing is 394.67. So now that is the answer for the letter C. So now the final part is to find the surface area of the solid. We can do that through us finding the cylinder and the cone and the radius. So first, in order to find the surface area of a cone, we have to find the slant height. And for us to find the slant height, we have to thus use the Pythagorean theorem, which is 4 square because of the radius, because of the base, plus 12 square because of the height, is 160. And then we have to square root 160. That's going to be 12.64. So that is the slant height of the cone. So let's just write that down. That's the slant height of the cone. So now that we know that, we can find the surface area for the cone. Yes. So which is pi r plus slant height plus r radius, and then that's the surface area for each. This is for the cone, and then for the cylinder, let's just try this because I don't want to write cylinder. So it's 2 pi r plus times r plus height, and then the hemisphere, which is 3 pi r squared. 3 pi r squared. So now that we know this, we should use the radius, the heights, and the slant height we know for it. So let's start with the cone. Slant height is 12.64. Let's add this with the radius, which is 4. So that is 16.64. So 12.64 plus 4 equals 16.64. And then we have to times that by 4. Yeah. And that's gonna be 16.64 times 4 is gonna be 66.56. Yeah. So times this by 4 is gonna be 0.56. Okay, so that's the surface area of the cone. So for the cylinder, it's gonna be, since we know the radius again, so it's gonna be, and the height, which is 18. So 18 plus 4 is 22. 18 plus 4 equals 22 times 4 is 88. 88, and then times 2 again, because it says here times 2. So which is 176 times 2 equals is 176 pi. That is the surface area for the cylinder. Okay, so now we have to find the last, which is this. That's the hemisphere. So that's our radius, which is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. R squared. 4 times 4 is 16. 16. And then times it by 3. Times 3. Which is 528 pi. And that is the surface area of the hemisphere. So all we have to do now is add this up in total. No, wait, actually no, we shouldn't. So after that, it's because the whole object is combined. We should not add up the bases of the surface area. So since each object has one base, and this has two bases, and the cone has also one base, so which is pi r squared. So pi square is 16 pi. 16 pi plus 1, 2, 3, 4. 16 times 4 is 64. So I have to minus that from everything here. So 60, so that's 0.56 plus 176 plus 528 minus 64 is 706.56 pi. That is the surface area. So it's 706.56 pi. And don't forget that since they have pi, we can also add it by pi. So times it by pi is so it can be 2,219.72, and this one can be 394.67 times pi equals, so it can be 1239.89. And always remember that once you find the final answer, you have to put the units, which is in here centimeters. So always remember that, so you can not get a deduction on your grade. So centimeters each. And then if it's a volume, it has to be centimeter cube, and if it's an area, it has to be centimeter square. And those are the answers: 12 for A, 18 for B, 194.67 are this for C, and this for D. And thank you for watching. Done.